Hello, hello, hello. You are tuning into another episode of TheWunderkindShow. Today's first topic, Mark Andrews or Isaiah Likely. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, what do you mean or? Hey! So, I've been doing this a lot. When you have the off season, because there's not a lot of news going on, you get to retrospect and look into a lot of different things regarding your team, my team, right? And I know that Mark Andrews has just signed a deal. What was it, 2021, I believe it was. So you got 2021, 2022, 2023. But I started wondering, just the same thing with Gus and JK that I did the last episode. I was wondering about Mark and Isaiah, because I'm going to show y'all everything ties together. Somebody hit me up on Twitter. Now, I was going to do this topic already, but then somebody hits me up on Twitter and says, hey, I want you to, I think you should really cover this. And his name is Mafi B on Twitter. Shout outs to you, Mafi. And the list is of CBS, of course, again, and it says AFC players who can become stars in 2023. And it kind of ties into everything else. And the first person on that list is Isaiah Likely. Now, here's the thing, because we're going to break this down exactly how I want it to go. Mark's on the 4-year deal, right? I believe the last year, the Ravens can release him without any damages to their cap. So my thing, when I was looking, I said, what if Isaiah Likely does break out this season? What if this year is not the J.K. Dobbins, the Gus Edwards, the Bateman, the OBJ, or even the Zay Flowers? What if the star becomes Isaiah Likely? And if he does become the star, because remember, you can't keep everybody. What do you do with Mark Andrews? It's a what if game, yes. But it's a if that a lot of people like us are looking at saying, and that the front office is probably looking at. Because let me tell you something right now. There's two things that will never change in the NFL. Every team is looking to save money, and every team is looking to get younger at a position. That it'll never change. Those two things. You're always looking to get younger and cheaper at a position, and you're always trying to save money. It'll never change. Those two things are, it's like death and taxes in the NFL. It's just, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I look at it and I'm saying, Isaiah Likely in flashes last year showed us that not only can he be a reliable target, but he can be an outstanding playmaker. And not just a regular playmaker. I'm talking about open field, make multiple people miss, playmaker. Sports Center top 10 plays, playmaker. And he has it all. He has the stop and start speed. He has the size. He has the long arms. He has the hands. He has the route running. The question that is going to come up is, can he put it together and be consistent? And is the Ravens going to use him enough for him to substantially become a 1A, 1B top option in this offense? And everybody's saying, oh, well, we can just have both. Look, in a perfect world, we can keep both, right? If Isaiah Likely turns into what I truly think he's capable of, then we keep both. Problem is, Mark Andrews, I believe right now, is making the third highest in tight end money in the NFL. Players don't go cheaper, they go higher. They're always trying to push the market. So not just for themselves, but for the people that come after them. So I know a lot of people are going to say, well, Mark's a team player. He might take a team-friendly deal. How much of a team-friendly deal is it? Listen, and I'm not trying to start any negativity for the Ravens or anything like that. I already told you guys, I think we can win the Super Bowl for multiple seasons. What I'm saying is that when you have a plethora of talent, and one of those talented players are paid, and you no longer have a rookie quarterback that's making rookie quarterback or first 3-4 year quarterback money, you have to start trimming and cutting away spending from other positions. It's inevitable. And we're looking, listen, I'm going to be real with you. I think Lamar Jackson can play at least another 10 years in this NFL now. I think he can easily have a 15, 16, 20, 16, 17 year career. Easily. I'm using the word easily. And I'm purposely using that. Because a lot of people think, oh, he can't survive. He's been hurt. Joe Burrow's had more knee surgeries than Lamar Jackson. I just want to point that out to y'all. Hey! So y'all can keep that and go. And for everyone saying his style, Peyton Manning's spine was pretty much split in half for staying in the pockets. And he was probably the most pocket passer that this league is, more pocket passing than even Tom Brady. And we consider Tom Brady to be a literal and figuratively speaking statue. Peyton was a more statue than him. So I bring and I say all that to say this. I want Likely to succeed, and I truly think he will. The problem is then if we win and Likely becomes a star, one, can they both coexist? Two, will the team even play them heavily together? Because most teams are not running 2 tight end sets. Remember, we're trying to move away from that. And then 3, can you pay both? Mark Andrews is on, and I don't care who you talk to, on the lowest you'll go, Mark Andrews is a top 5 tight end in the league right now. That's what he is. But Likely has the wiggle of a wide receiver. It's like they're 2 different wide receivers. Now look, when I look at them, I get kind of like an Aaron Hernandez and a Gronk. Remember when those 2 was working together? You're like, oh, Patriots! It looks so seamless. And remember, we thought last year that's what they were going to do. They didn't do it. They couldn't find enough time for those 2 to be on the field together. This is why I said Monken has a lot of weapons. But for no good deed goes unpunished, because for every good weapon you have, that's another mouth that you have to feed on offense. And everyone's saying that, we'll control egos. That's fine. I get it. I truly believe a lot of them are professional. You will. If you keep winning. You see, you could be quiet when you're winning. You be like, whatever. I only got like 40 yards. No touchdowns. I was only targeted twice. But we won the game, so hoorah, hoorah. What happens if you go on a 2-game losing streak? You see what I'm saying? That's when those voices become loudest. And I'm not saying that Likely has a voice yet, because, let's be real, he doesn't. But I know I'm not the only one whose eyes are working properly. I know I'm not the only one. When I watched Isaiah Likely last year, I saw a guy like, oh my God, he can legit be a top 5 tight end in the league. And I said this last year. I said, if he becomes a top 5 tight end, what do you do with Mark Andrews? Do you keep both? And that's my thing. Do the Ravens... Now look, here's the other side, because I always try to be fair to counterbalance my own argument. The Ravens like to save money. A tight end is cheaper than a wide receiver. That's fact. You already got Zay there, and you're going to have him there for probably 4 years before you got to pay him big money if he turns into what we think he can be. Right? OBJ is a 1-year contract. Bateman's on a prove-it deal this year. A lot of people don't like saying it, but that's what it is. He's on a prove-it deal this year. I mean, it's not a new deal, but let's be honest. He's been injured, and he hasn't been able to stay on the field. So now it's like, can he play? Can he stay healthy? And if he can't, will they pick up a fifth-year option? Remember, he's a first-round pick, so they get the opportunity to pick up a fifth-year option. And even if would they really want to, if he stays injured, all these things are factoring. So that's the other side of it. Like, they could keep both and then go cheap still at wide receiver. But in this offense, you need wide receivers. You need guys and weapons. So you might be able to do it for another 3-4 years before you got to pay Zay. Because if Zay turns out to be A.B. or Steve Smith Sr., well, guess what? He got to get paid. There'll be no excuses for not paying that man, especially if he goes to that level and he stays healthy. You got to pay him. A lot of this is what ifs, but there's enough time for us to actually think these things through. What would you guys think? Tell me in the comment section. You got Mark Andrews here. He's solidified. He is a weapon. He'd be a weapon on almost every team except for Kansas City and maybe the 49ers. Every other team, he's a starting tight end, right? If Likely breaks out now, do you take Likely or do you take Mark Andrews? Red pill, blue pill, green fish, blue fish. Dr. Seuss. But no, for real. Like seriously, what do you guys think about it? Because I want Lamar to have as much weapons as possible. But we know now that the Ravens took so long to acquire him weapons, and now that they've paid him, they can't pay everybody. It's impossible. It's a hard cap league. So what do you guys think? If Likely busts out this year, do we just ride it, re-sign Mark, sign Likely to an extension and keep it moving? Or do you move into greener pastures with a Likely and then get a cheap second tight end to fill that void? But let me know what you think down in the comment section. And mind you, I want to reiterate this. I am not throwing salt. I don't want Mark Andrews going nowhere. I want him to retire here. I want him to retire as a Raven. But we all know that no matter how much we wish for things, the NFL sometimes lets go of very, very talented players. Remember, Jerry Rice was still racking up 1,000-yard seasons. And the 49ers, instead of paying both him and Terrell Owens, said, look, you got to go. Chris Carter, Randy Moss, you got to go. You get where I'm coming from? So I'm just being real. I'm just being real about it. I want y'all to understand that I want Mark Andrews here, but we don't know what will be the future, and anything can happen. Like the old McDonald's thing. Hey, it could happen. Hey! Once again, showing my age. But once again, that's an episode of The Wonder Kid Show. Thank you all for watching. Y'all already know we get down over here. It's a lot of laughs, a lot of fun, but everything we talk about is rooted in what? Facts and truth. Please do remember, like, subscribe to that notification bell, and just be respectful when you're down there if you do leave a comment. And if you would like to donate, join Patreon. All that information is located in the description of every video that we do. So once again, this is The Wunderkind Show. This is your host, Nitro, signing off. And as always, you guys knows my slogan. Peace. And I am out of here. Yerp.